Today we're tackling one of the dirtiest cars I've seen in a while, and I'm not charging a single penny. This one's special because it belongs to someone who's family to us. I'm going to walk you step by step through how to decontaminate and polish a neglected car back to a showroom shine, and make sure you stick around till the end because I'm going to drop a lot of really good tips throughout this video. Without further ado, let's get right into it. What is going on, party people? My name is Matthew, the owner and operator of Slick Auto Styling, a mobile detailing business down here in the Palm Beach County area. And today I wanted to give back. This is for someone who's extremely close to our family and who has done countless things to us. So I wanted to show my appreciation in terms of cleaning this car. So today I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to be reviving this car. It's very, very caked on. I'm sure you guys saw in the compilation. I'm going to show you how to do the full wash process, the full mechanical and chemical decontamination. Then we're going to do a quick polish, and we're going to finish it off with a quick sealant so that thing is nice and glossy and super protected everywhere. So without further ado, let's get into the first thing, which is going to be our wheels and tires. Okay, so we do have hubcaps on these wheels, but we can definitely show a lot of love here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give these tires a nice spray of some Armor Detail Supply tire cleaner. This is going to help break down any tire shine that might have been on there before, any just grease and grime that's been on those tires, because your tires are exactly what's touching the road every single time you drive. So I'm going to use the brush to get a little bit of spread in here. I'm not exactly looking to strip everything off with the brush. I'm just kind of looking to spread this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take our all-purpose cleaner. This is DIY Detail All Clean 15-to-1. And we're going to pump it up. We're going to get a little bit of foam going. And we're going to spray it across the entire wheel. And we're going to get the dwell time kind of increased on this tire cleaner. So this is what happens when you don't put incredible suds in your all clean dilution. It's just not as foamy, and so it's just a little bit more runny. So you could put just any kind of car shampoo, just a little tiny bit. And honestly, I just kind of forgot to, but it's really no big issue here. I'm just gonna come give these one more scrub real quick just to make sure. And then what we're gonna do, since we just have hubcaps here, is we're gonna take our wheel brush, we're gonna spray some on here, make sure that we're nice and lubricated. And we're just gonna get to scrubbing, because honestly, these wheels aren't too messed up. And I wanna get to focusing on the paint, because the paint is really where a lot of the messed up stuff is happening. So if we can spend a little bit less time here and a little bit more time on the paint, I'd be happy. You know, this customer isn't exactly paying for this job, but I still wanna do a really good job for them. But the other thing I want to do is make sure I get in these fender wells, because these fender wells are by no means clean. So we're going to take some more of this all-purpose cleaner. We're going to get it up in there. And I'm going to use this blue brush I have. It's just slim. It's a piece of junk. And it was $2.50 at Car Supply's warehouse. And I'm just going to shove it in there and really make sure I'm scrubbing off all the stuff that's in that immediate plastic fender lining. You can use a longer brush. Oh yeah, yoy. And I have longer brushes, but it's not necessary. All right, so this wheel is looking much better. Now I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do the other 3 wheels, and then we're gonna jump to hitting the bugs that are on the front bumper. So if I could pull your attention right here, we have a lot of stuff. I'm talking a lot. Like, it may show a little bit on camera, but it's 10 times in person. This doesn't even look white. It looks more like a giraffe with all these orange spots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Detail Co's BDE, Bugs, Dirt, and Exterior. This is a citrus all-purpose cleaner. And this is gonna start breaking down those bugs instantly, and it's literally turning brown right now. This is absolutely disgusting. So I'm gonna spray this a bit. I'm gonna start to break down the bugs. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pre-foam over this. So this is gonna be our alkaline foaming wash. This is gonna help decontaminate this stuff around the entire car. Now the reason we wouldn't just do that here on the front bumper is because I'm afraid it might not actually have enough power. If you see, these bugs are actually really, really stuck on, and there's millions of them. So I'm gonna give it an extra kick first, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna foam it, and then I'll do my high pressure rinse, and so I'll take you to do that. All right, so I've gone ahead and pre-sprayed the entire front bumper with the bugs, dirt, and exterior. So that's gonna go ahead and break down that stuff and make it much easier for us to rinse off when we do our high pressure rinse. Now I have Coach Chemi's MSN. This is a pre-wash soap heavy all-purpose cleaner. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna foam around the car and give it another layer of that pre-wash. While our pre-foam is dwelling, I wanted to come in to show you how well it's kind of breaking up everything that's on the surface. It's really gonna start melting down all of these bugs and everything. So when we do our high pressure rinse, we're gonna have a much easier time of getting off all the stuff that's all over this car. All right, so now that we've let the foam dwell for a bit, we're gonna come in with our high pressure rinse, and I'm gonna try to get off as much stuff as humanly possible because it is definitely not safe washing your car with about a bajillion bugs under it. So we're gonna try to remove as much as we can with our high pressure, and then we're gonna go into our contact wash stage. So I want to show you guys this. I just did the high pressure rinse on the front bumper, and we have almost zero bugs on this entire thing. Now there was about a bajillion on it in front before. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that, and honestly this is just a great technique to be able to wipe off all of those bugs with the high pressure before you guys go in with your contact wash. It's super safe. And if you guys have cleaned bugs off cars before, you know exactly how hard these are to remove. So this did a phenomenal job. Now moving on to the rest of the rinse. Now that we've finished our pre-wash, we have two things left on the car. The first thing is going to be road film. So road film is, well, film from the road. So it's going to be baked on dirt and oils that essentially create a layer of film that sticks to your car's paint and doesn't come off with water pressure. The other thing is going to be artillery fungus. So on this car, on many of the vertical surfaces, we have little black or dark spots. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what that looks like so you can notice it for yourself. But on this car, we were able to remove most of the artillery fungus with a simple pressure washer and the alkaline foam before it. But now we're gonna have to remove the rest of it using our washing process. It's just washing the car, and then our claying process. So sometimes, depending on how long you've let the artillery fungus sit, it could get that bad. So let's get to washing this car. So now we're gonna foam over the car and create a barrier of lubrication for our contact wash. For this, I'm using Decon soft wash. This is 1 ounce to about 600 milliliters, or I wanna say like 18, 19 ounces. So we're gonna foam over the car, and I'm gonna wash the car, and I will see you guys in about a second. Okay, so we've washed and rinsed off the entire car. Now we're left with these little iron spots, these little orange spots that are baked into the entire car. I'm sure you guys see in these little clips that I'm gonna drop in here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our iron remover and we're gonna spray it on a lot of these vertical panels, really anywhere where we see any of this contamination. We're gonna spray it, actually, we're gonna mist it on most of the car. Just try to break that down. Now we got to keep in mind that some of the car is in sunlight, so we can't really let this dry on the paint at all. So we're going to have to work quickly and letting this dwell, and then just rinse it off as soon as possible. So I'm just going to give it a few sprays here. We should see after a few seconds, a few minutes, that these iron particles start to react with the iron remover. It's going to turn a reddish purple, and it's going to start lifting these contaminants out of the paint. That's when we're going to take our clay towel and we're going to remove everything, because it's much softened up after you've hit it with the iron remover. All right, now check this out, guys. This is what it looks like when the iron remover is reacting with the iron on your paint. We're getting all of these little drips, and we're seeing that the iron remover is starting to pull the stuff off of the paint. Now we just have a ridiculous amount of iron on this car, and it's absolutely just melting off everywhere. So I've done this shaded section, and then I'm gonna rinse it off now, and then we're gonna work in the sun sunny sections, and we're going to make sure to be very, very careful not to let this iron remover dry on the paint. So I just finished using the iron remover on the entire car. It's looking brighter than my future already. Honestly, it has this unbelievable gleam. All those orange spots are gone. Now we're gonna foam over it, and we're gonna use our clay towel to get rid of the last bit of contamination that's stuck on the car and making this paint feel like sandpaper. By the way, if you guys wanna tell if your guys' car is ready for a clay bar decontamination service or not, you can put your hand in a plastic bag after you've washed your car, of course, and you can gently rub it across your paint, and this will allow you to feel much better the contaminants that are on your paint. So without further ado, I'm going to create this barrier of lubrication, and we're going to start claying this car. So this is what your clay towel is going to look like. We're going to use this to essentially remove the rest of these contaminants off the paint. What it is basically a fake clay or a synthetic clay, and it has these little holes. And so when the dirt comes off the pores of your paint with this synthetic material, it goes into these holes, and then you can just flush it out with a bucket or rinse it out with water. So we're basically going to gently go across these panels, and this is going to get rid of the last little tiny spots and specks that might be stuck in this paint and any dirt. So after this is done, the paint is going to be extremely bright, and it's going to be ready for us to polish. So let's go. So while I'm claying this roof, I wanted to point it out that the tops of your car, the vertical surfaces, will always be the most contaminated. That is because simply dirt falls, right? That's how gravity works. So stuff sits here and then it just bakes in, and a lot of the time the roof of the car, if it's a truck, people are too high up and they don't want to wash it. So this is why the tops of the cars are always the most contaminated, and people just really overlook them. So when you really do a good job on the roof, it just ties together the detail and it really makes a huge difference. And then in second place, it's gonna be your front and rear bumpers. So this is obviously because you're driving in front of and behind other people. So you get dirt kicked up from their brakes and all that kind of stuff. So, and then from your brakes, actually, the dynamics of your car, the aerodynamics create like a vortex, and that's why all the dirt sticks to the back of your car. So I'm gonna keep claying this roof, and I'll let you guys know when I'm done and ready to polish. So I just pulled the car into the garage, and I dried the entire car using the GOAT 2300 towel. Now I didn't use a drying aid because we're about to polish this entire car, which means we're about to get rid of any swirls, scratches, micro marring that we may have just left with drying the car. So right now I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to use in our polishing process so you guys can follow along with me. So let's get right to that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be using is, of course, the polisher. Now this is our 15mm dual action polisher by Nanoskin. This is the black speed model. It doesn't matter exactly which one you have, but I like this one because it's pretty smooth. And the 15mm specifically because it has a nice balance of cut and finish. Now I do have other machines, but that's what I picked today for that exact reason, because it has a nice balance of cut and finish. What also has a nice balance is these pads, these Picar O2 pads. These are like a perfect medium pad. It's almost like Chipotle medium salsa. It's not too spicy, it's not too sweet. It's really a perfect balance, and I think that these will do any person a really good job for just a one step in and out kind of job. So with that, we're going to be using the Liquid Elements 2.4 cut and gloss that I got from Germany. Now this has arrived in the US a few months ago at, I believe, Car Supplies Warehouse and Sky's the Limit Car Care, but I had a friend from Germany actually ship me some stuff, so that's going to be in a special video coming up soon. Now what I do believe is that your pads actually matter a bit more than your polish. So this is because essentially your pads are what's doing the real abrasion with your paint, and then your polish is for the most part a lubricant that's kind of allowing that pad to glide across the surface. Now, when you do get into heavier cutting compounds, of course, they have more abrasives and more advanced stuff in there, but for the most part, your pad is what really matters. So if you're using a dirty pad or a shitty pad, it's not going to do as good of a job as if you were using a nicer pad. So with that being said, let's get into how I'm going to polish this car. It is time for the inspection. Ooh, I call this the light of truth. This is going to show us exactly what's going on with our paint. And this paint has just about everything going on. It looks like somebody sanded the paint in some areas. Looks like there's some random touch-up paint. We got a whole lot of swirling. That looks like sanding marks. Yeah, so we've got a whole lot going on in this car. I'm gonna pull you guys also to the trunk. I don't even need it. Yeah, and the trunk has some really, really deep scratching. Like it looks like just somebody, I don't know what's going on here, but we gotta fix this. And so we're gonna fix it. All right, so this trunk is literally so bad that I wanted to hop straight on it. So we're gonna go and we're gonna put the pad on our polisher. We're gonna get 4 little drops going. One, well, I guess that's a splatter, right? Come on, air, get out of this, John. Let's go. Oh my God, this is a thick polish. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it smells like bananas. You know, I'm not used to polishes smelling good because most polishes like don't smell good. So we're gonna pump it a few times on our paint. We're just gonna get it spread around a little bit. You can go on speed 1 or 2, or you can feather your trigger like I'm gonna do here. And that's basically just gonna get the compound spread around the surface. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to speed 4.5 on my polisher. That says it's about 4,300 RPM or so. You know, most of the machines are kind of measured differently, so definitely do some research on what machine you have. Now what we're aiming for here is 5 pounds of pressure. So if your polisher weighs 5 pounds, you kind of want 5 pounds on this head. So right now I would say there's about 2.5 pounds. So we're just gonna wanna put almost the lightest amount of pressure on the surface. So we're just gonna go slowly in even passes, and I'll let you guys know when we're done. Now I'm just gonna wipe it up. And let's see exactly what we did here. All right, so this is how your mom looks on Tinder. And this is how she looks in real life. Okay, so it's clear that we're not gonna be getting perfect results with just a 1-step and a foam pad. Now, that is also to say that the trunk had some unique stuff going on. It looked like 5 bears and 4 raccoons attacked it at the same time. So we're definitely gonna pull out a lot of gloss out of this car, and I expect most of these panels to be looking much glossier and much brighter before, but like I said, we're not gonna be able to remove those random sanding marks that are all over the car just from this 1-step. So I'm gonna keep going across the car with that technique. Like I said, speed 4.5. We're gonna work in sections. I'm not gonna try to do this entire door at the same time. I'm just gonna do maybe half, if even thirds, because the smaller sections you work in with your polish, it's gonna be much easier to wipe off. And although it seems slower because you're doing less at the time, it's going to be much, much faster in the long run because you're not wasting time wiping off dried polish and all that kind of stuff. Now, another thing I wanted to stress is how important it is to remove your polish right now. Right after you're done polishing, immediately after, because the polish gets into these little door cracks and all these little cracks and crevices, and it hardens. Polish is like glitter. Once it's stuck there, you cannot get it out. So I'm warning you guys now, take your time, clean all your edges, make sure you're very thorough with your polish wipe off because it sticks there, and the longer it sticks there, the harder it is to get off. It is sincerely a pain, and I had to learn this the hard way as well as many other detailers. So take your time. It'll lead to a happy customer, and you'll be happier in the long run because you don't have to clean out any dried polish out of any door jams. Now, if your polish is a little bit hard to wipe off, you're not alone. It happens sometimes from overworking the polish. What you can do is dampen your towel in a bucket of rinseless wash, and this is gonna let you kind of mop up the initial kind of all that oil and residue and everything. And then once you've done that, you can take your dry towel and simply buff away. Now this way, you'll have actually a much cleaner surface versus just doing it by buffing it off dry. So when you're going around for your panel prep stage, in case you're coating the car, this will have less for you to panel prep off. Now, I think one of the most important things we could do for our friend here is make sure her glass is ceramic coated with the best stuff possible, because we live in Florida where there is torrential downpours every single day. So I need to make sure she can see safely every single time she gets in this car. And I just know there's no way that's happening with the way I washed the car and how the windshield looked. So what I've gone ahead and done is polish the entire windshield just like I've polished the car. You know, I didn't really go in sections, but I just knocked out the entire windshield, wiped off the polish, and then I hit it with some panel prep and then wiped it off from there. So our surface is completely bare and it is now ready for us to apply the Soft 99 Glaco. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What I like about this is that it all comes in one package, and so you don't need any applicators. You just need a microfiber towel to wipe everything off. But what's awesome about this as well is it has some really great durability. So it's just very, very phenomenal. So what you got to do, what I like to do, is shake it around a little bit. Oh, I should have done this before. Get it kind of activated in a few circles, and then you'll start to see this kind of liquid forming on the surface. Now you know your pad is starting to get primed. Yeah, so now my little applicator circle is starting to make solid circles, and I know that we're ready to go coat the windshield. So we're gonna make these small little circles, and we're just gonna keep going. And the reason you wanna make these small circles instead of huge lines like this is because when you make those huge lines, your applicator kind of loses a bit of juice, you know, so you kind of want to keep it spinning to keep the juice flowing. That's pretty funny. But and the other thing is that when you have an even application like this, it's less likely that your windshield wipers are going to stutter across the surface of your windshield. That is a common known issue that happens when you put some type of coating on your windshield. So you just want to make sure you're going in little circles and filling everything in. And that's essentially all there is to it. You just fill out the entire windshield and then you're ready to wipe it off. Okay, so I've done the entire windshield. Now it's time to simply wipe off the magic juice. It comes off very easily. And yeah, the wipe off on this stuff is extremely good. Just super, super easy. Very, very easy to apply. So even if you aren't a detailer, this stuff really helps to have in the garage. So now that I've finished polishing the entire car, we're going to want to panel prep it or prep it for our protection stage, which is next. So what we're going to want to do here is lightly mist the panel prep onto the surface, and we're going to take our microfiber towel and we're going to buff everything away that was on the surface, just as if we were cleaning glass. Everything should buff away with the panel prep, and you should be left with a squeaky clean surface for your protection to be applied to. So now we're almost done. There's just one very small thing to do, and that would be to put a ceramic coating on this car. So for today, we're using Vero's 1-year sprayable ceramic coating, and I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it. Okay, so for this ceramic coating and a lot of other 1-year sprayable ceramic coatings, this is what you're gonna do. So the directions state you wanna spray directly onto the panel. So we're gonna give 2 sprays here. We're gonna take our microfiber towel and we're gonna buff it in with one side. You can immediately see that my towel is very, very slick, very slippery. So we're gonna make sure we cover every single bit here. So we're all good. And we're going to simply flip our towel and buff away. Now, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to coat the whole car and I can use another towel to buff it away. So this is what I would recommend you do. Just take another towel and buff it away. That way your applicator towel stays your applicator towel and your buffing towel stays your buffing towel. So just like that, we have this first panel ceramic coated. Now I'm going to go around the entire car ceramic coating the whole thing. I'll let you guys know when I'm done. And just like that, we finished the wash, decon, polish, and ceramic coating on this white Hyundai Ioniq. I'm honestly stoked with how it turned out. Even though we have some of those random sanding marks, this thing is glowing way harder than it did before. We don't have a million bugs on the front bumper. We got rid of artillery fungus, about 1 billion iron spots. We got rid of paint transfer on the bumpers. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let's get some B-roll for you guys. so that's going to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Any questions you have, I will be sure to answer them. It honestly makes my day when you guys leave stuff down in the comments below. And please, if you enjoyed, subscribe. I'll have a whole bunch of content coming out like this where I show you guys how to polish, ceramic coat, and take care of your cars at home. My name is again Matthew from Slick Auto Styling down here in the Palm Beach area, and I will see you guys in the next video.